you guys doing today? This is Mr. Muscarella coming at you. And today I'm going to teach you guys or show you how to use your graphing calculator to work with powers of I. Now that's right, one of the first things we're going to have to do when we work with powers of I, make sure that your operating system is one of the latest ones from Texas Instruments. And to do that, you want to hit the second and the plus key. Now notice we got a whole bunch of stuff in there, but we just want the about number one, so we're just going to select enter. Now notice I'm using version 2.53 of our operating system, so that's the one that you're going to want to make sure you have, that one or a later one. Now if it's not, what you want to do is go to this web address right here, education.ti.com, and download the latest operating system for your graphing calculator. Now once that's all set, what you're going to do is go back to the home screen. So I like to say quit and go home. Second mode does that for us. We go back to the home screen. Now to get to the I, if you notice all the way down here where the dot is, there's going to be a little I right above the dot. So what you're going to have to do is go ahead and hit the second key. So to do I to some power, you'll hit second and then the dot and then the caret, and notice that kicks it up into an exponent, and we just type in any exponent that we want. I'm going to use 32 for our first example. Now, bam, there's our answer. Oh my gosh, what does that mean? What you have to recognize is that your graphing calculator divides this into two pieces, a real part and an imaginary part. The real part is on the left, in this case the number 1, and the imaginary part is on the right, the 2e to the negative 13i. Now what you have to recognize in your calculator, because your answer for this type of problem is going to be one of 4 answers. It's either going to be 1, negative 1, I, or negative I. So what you've got to be able to do is interpret this to know which one of those 4 answers it is. Wherever the E is, you're going to ignore that piece. And in this case, the E is with our imaginary part of our answer. So our answer for this problem, I to the 32nd, that's just 1. Now let's test this out here, and we're going to stay in the 30s. We're going to go I to the 33rd power. So go ahead and type that in. Oh, that didn't work out, so let's go ahead and do that again. I then caret 33. Now this one, again, look for where the plus sign is. That'll divide it up into the real and imaginary part. Sometimes it might be a minus sign, but here our real piece is the part that has the E with it. So we're going to ignore that piece of it, which means the answer for this problem is, yep, you guessed it, I. Now what if we had I to the 34th power? So what do you think that one would be? How do you interpret this one? Now here we've got a negative 4e to the negative 13i. This one, we're going to ignore that imaginary piece. So our answer for this one is just negative 1. By now I think you guys are probably onto the pattern here and you can recognize how to interpret this. So I'm going to give you one pretty neat one here. We're going to do I to say the 104th power. Now check that out. I to the 104th power. What's your answer? Is it 1, negative 1, I, or negative I? Hopefully you recognize now that this answer should be 1. That's right. The E goes with the imaginary part. So we ignore that piece on the right and we only choose the answer 1. Now, let me give you 2 more just to kind of make sure that you've got this down. We're going to say I to the 253rd power. I to the 253rd. Go ahead and type that in and see if you can interpret the answer correctly. So I don't know, what do you think about this one? The answer should be I. That's it for this lesson. Hopefully, you will now understand how to use your graphing calculator, your TI-83 or 84, to work with powers of I. That's it for this lesson. You guys have a great day. Peace.